Hey Fee, thank you so much for being here. I'm so excited to interview you to find out a little bit about how your business has changed since we worked together. So, for the people who are watching, can you tell us a bit about your business, where you got started, when you got started, actually, and also some of the concerns or desires that you had when you came in to my mastermind to start working with me?
Yeah, sure. I had been selling high ticket for about 2 years, maybe 2.5 years, and selling it. I had a really great offer, and I was selling it regularly, but my income was very up and down. Um, so I could make a couple of sales one month, have a fantastic month, and then maybe not sell anything the next month, or maybe heavily discount something and sell it the next month. And I was kind of like on this roller coaster. I was selling, maybe sometimes I'd have like friends of friends joining, and I'd make the price different, and I was kind of a bit all over the place with my pricing. Um, so I really, really wanted to move into a much more stable monthly kind of income in my
Yeah.
business where I wasn't on that roller coaster all the time. Because even though my income was great over a 12-month period, it was a little bit stressful going up and down like that. And I couldn't make the plans and the savings and the things happen that I wanted to with it being so up and down. So I think one of my biggest worries about first starting was probably the investment.
Yeah.
Because my income was a bit up and down, I was
Yeah.
like, it seemed like a huge investment for me. It was the biggest investment um, I'd ever engaged in before.
Yeah.
I'd certainly enrolled in coaching programs before, but this was big. And I did that on purpose because I wanted to step into something aspirational. I wanted to be with people who were really at the level I wanted to be at. I wanted to really step up on every level. But the investment was big for me, and I was a little bit nervous. But when I first paid my first installment, like something magic happened because the money went out of my account, and I was like, okay, this is going to happen every month. And right there and then, within about 2 hours, one of my clients was on my therapy program paid her full balance without any kind of warning. She was supposed to be on a payment plan, and it covered more than what I just paid out, just like that, just landed in my account with no warning.
It's
So
amazing, isn't it?
when you invest in my ticket, crazy things happen.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah. No, that's cool. And I remember you kind of had the desire of buying a house at that point. Yeah. I remember you sort of saying this is a big investment. This is kind of like a deposit for a house. Oh, well, part of a deposit for a house. Do I
Yeah.
invest so I can make more money, or do I actually, yeah, I actually remember that conversation really, really well. Yeah. So, what had you tried before you joined the mastermind?
Um, yeah, I'd done various coaching programs, probably about three or four really big high ticket ones, and lots of other trainings, like marketing trainings and sales trainings and lots of other stuff. Um, I have conventional business coaching I've been doing all the way along from the beginning. So a
Yeah.
weekly meetup, someone who's doing quite a sort of masculine, asking me all the right questions about the numbers and things like that. Um, so lots of different things. And then 6 months before, I'd actually invested with someone trying to get everything set up on Kajabi, all the technical stuff, and get ahead of myself that way. But that really didn't work out for me. It really wasn't the right time. I think I was trying to um, just get way too technical, and actually I didn't need to.
Yeah.
Things that I loved about your approach, Anne, was that you just said, look, you don't need any of that. You don't need all these landing pages and funnels and all that stuff. You can just get to 10K, 30K months with none of it. And that was what
Yeah.
I wanted to do because I'm not a very technical person myself. So yeah, I mean, I tried different coaching programs with varying success. I think another thing that attracted me about your program was that um, I've joined programs before where you've done like 3 or 4 months with somebody, learned loads of stuff, started to implement it, and then the program finishes.
Yeah.
And you try to carry on, and there's still stuff that you've learned, so it does definitely help. But I wonder, like, if I'd had another like 2 or 3 months with that person, probably could have got a lot more out of what I'd learned, because it takes a bit of time, doesn't it, to really absorb new information and implement it into your business the way you want to.
Yeah, totally, totally. 12 months is a great amount of time because if you feel complete, that's great. If you feel like you've got everything that you need, that's great. But also you've got that extra support for the for a longer period of time, right? So yeah.
And I
So
was ready for that.
yeah. Cool, cool, cool. And I think you, like you said, you'd already worked with quite a few coaches beforehand. Did you find like in some of the other, and you mentioned sort of in that high ticket space, were there bigger programs? Were they as hands-on? What would you say was the difference?
Um, I would say I've never had an experience in any coaching container where the um, support was so hands-on as it is with you. I've never felt so completely supported and held in a container and consistently over 12 months, not just like for a couple of months, like as I have
Yeah,
with you.
that was a
You
bit
know,
of a
very
leading question from me.
it's true. No, it's absolutely true. Even if you hadn't
Yeah,
said it, I absolutely would have mentioned it because, um, yeah, um, most coaching containers, even at high ticket level, will give you one, perhaps two calls a week in a group setting. And you have to bring your stuff to that, and you work through things, and there'll be some pre-recorded information as well to work through and all that stuff. But it's easy in those, especially if they're busy containers, to get lost in there.
yeah,
And you can go through a whole container and not really get that much done.
yeah,
And I think I'm quite disciplined in that I do get stuff done. I'm not that great at watching all the pre-recorded content, to be honest, but I am good at getting stuff done. But there's stuff in life that's happening in the background in everyone's life and business, and there's ebbs and flows and the challenges, and um I don't know, just having somebody who I could write a message to or upload something into the group at any time throughout the week. And nothing was ever too much trouble. I always felt like I could rely on you for anything at any time. That was absolutely incredible for me, that level of
oh,
support,
thank you.
unsurpassed, honestly, and really integral to what happened in my business in those 12 months, definitely.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah, that means a lot to me because, and that was the intent, right? Because I've had experienced really great coaching, but also sometimes I felt like I could do with more feedback. I'd love somebody to review this for me, So it is
Yeah.
nice to have that sort of that extra level of support. So tell us, V, what were some of the wins that you had while working in the mastermind? What were some of the early wins too?
Yeah, well, I mean, what was really amazing about your container round was that you just had me straight away. I mean, I did have a warm audience already and an offer and
Yeah,
all that, but you put together with me a new offer, which was a combination of two different things I'd been doing before, and we launched it really quickly, and I enrolled two people very quickly
yeah,
within weeks.
yeah. 2 weeks,
That
I think.
program was, yeah,
Yeah,
and that program was over £10,000.
yeah,
So within 2 weeks, I had enrolled two people at
yeah,
something like £22,000
yeah,
um, in sales. And then I went on to launch that and enroll a further three people, and then also someone into my other container. So I ended up doing, it was about £47,000 or $60,000
yeah,
in the first few weeks with you
yeah.
as like a launch. And that was by far, like I'd done a lot of launches in the past, loads, and I've done 10K, 20K, 15K, like, enough
Yeah.
time. But I'd never done any kind of numbers like that before. So that was like massive.
Yeah. No, I remember that was so amazing because I mean, technically in 2 weeks, I think you made your ROI,
Yeah. And some.
you know, and some, yeah, and then went on to
Yeah.
have an incredible launch and so on. So,
Yeah.
what part of my program would you say, I think we've sort of covered this, but would you say specifically helped you achieve some of those wins?
Yeah, I think that one of the things that really helped was just my confidence. Confidence, like stepping into a community of people, like with real coaches who were doing phenomenal results. You see a lot of coaches out there and you wonder, don't you, like who's doing as well as it seems they're doing, and how consistent is it? And I don't know, it seems like smoke and mirrors sometimes. You're not really sure what's happening where. But in your container, I met the most incredible women who were all really working from their heart and soul, trying to make the world a better place and making real money. and I wanted to be with them. And I think that really helps.
Yeah.
That just confidence
Yeah.
really elevated. And especially with your expertise, you were there all the time to help me tweak and change and redirect and look at what I'm doing. And I think massive part of it was huge confidence. And I think from the point of view of my marketing, what you did was you put a structure around what I was doing, which was very simple. I actually felt like I was spending less time on my marketing when I worked with you than I had before, but it very quickly put me as an authority in my field.
Yeah. Yeah.
And my marketing presence skyrocketed.
Yeah.
And the traction I get now in my marketing is way beyond ever anything I've ever had before, but because of your very simple method that really positions me in that way. So that certainly has been really big.
Yeah.
And also encouraging me to step into an arena that was I was charging a lot more basically than I
Yeah.
had before. You helped me to see the value of the fact that I was doing this incredible coaching, teaching people what I'd learned myself to grow my business, but also that I had this hypnotherapy. So I was already getting phenomenal results in my hypnotherapy work. That's the basis of my business. That's my high ticket offer that's done really well from the beginning. I've worked with heart-led high achievers and conscious entrepreneurs all over the world, and they've had life-changing results and breakthroughs with my work. But you helped me to see that like putting that expertise into my coaching made it extremely valuable. And I hadn't really seen like you when you said to me, but basically you're offering them two programs for the price of one. Like, oh
Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's the thing, and it's so hard to put a price. And, we sort of refer to charging your worth, but really, you know, it's worth so much more. Like how do you even put a value on that sort of work that you do and the huge results that you achieve for your clients? So, that's the thing. It's my job actually is really easy when my my clients have the expertise, then to just sort of put the marketing around it and put some structure around it and so on. So, what would you say, Fee, to someone who's thinking about working with me? They're on the fence.
Yeah, I would say go for it without a shadow of a doubt. I would highly recommend working with Anne. Like, and I just one little caveat. I would say if you are ready to fucking do it.
Yeah, got to
If
take
you're ready
action,
to
right?
absolutely go for it. Yeah, you
Yeah,
absolutely have to go for it. I
yeah,
said Anne will give you every step of the way. And I would say do what she says. That's what
yeah,
I would say.
yeah,
Because it's funny in coaching containers, like you can join, you can really make a massive decision and step in and put money into something massive. And then I see it sometimes as well. I've done it myself, I've seen it in other coaching containers, I've seen clients, peers, and then still hover around on the fence when you're in it a little
yeah,
bit, can't we? Do you know what I
yeah,
mean?
yeah, yeah,
But I
yeah,
remember at the beginning with you, there was some things that you suggested I wasn't sure about. But part of me was like, you've just invested in this woman. She knows what she's talking about. Just do what she says. Like, do you know what I mean? And that worked for me. A
yeah.
little
That
bit
sort of
like,
surrender, right? You've just got to kind
yeah,
of like go, okay, she's the
do
expert, and equally, I don't think I ever ask any client to do anything that they absolutely don't want to do, right? Whether it's a values issue or, I mean, I think my clients and I have similar values, but you know what I mean? Like I'd never ask someone to do something
you
that
are so respectful. You say it all the time. You say, you say you get to choose.
you
That's
get
what
to
you always,
choose.
you get to choose.
There's
You
always
know,
a
like,
trend. You get to
yeah,
choose.
yeah, you get to choose.
Yeah.
But if you're asking me, I would do this. And I'm like, right, I
If
am
you
asking
really
you.
want to make sales, you might want to do
Yeah, right.
this.
Yeah, right. So that in that sort of in that lovely, beautiful space of complete respect,
Yeah.
you know, your advice, and I really appreciated that. And I think so. Yeah, I would say to people, do it if you want to make
Thank you.
money.
Thank you. And equally, you are freaking amazing at what you do too. And you're like the therapist is how I think you've sort of positioned yourself as well. And if anyone wants to let go of their shit, seriously, he's the
Yeah,
person because often there's all of this subconscious stuff that we are not even aware of that gets in the way. And, there's a part of us that wants this incredible business And then there's another part of us that really doesn't because of the subconscious blocks. So tell us a little bit about your business and how people can find you and where they can find you and all that kind of stuff.
Yeah, I tend to work with therapists and coaches who've done a load of work already. So they're
Yeah,
really used to doing stuff like this. They're probably already NLP coaches or hypnotherapists themselves. So they're really used to working on a deeper level.
yeah,
I don't, talking therapy is one way of doing stuff. It's not my way. I'm very solution focused. My work is fast. It's extremely effective. People are blown away. Even people who've done therapy for years and self-development for years and years and years come to me and they find out things about themselves they had never imagined were
yeah,
still in there. So they uncover blocks, that invisible walls in their mind that they really didn't know were there.
yeah,
So often they'll come to me and go, I think there's something still getting in my way, but I've done like loads of therapy. Like I can't possibly need any more therapy. And it's like, yeah, okay. But we all do. The
yeah,
truth
yeah,
is that life's work. It doesn't end. Um, it just gets more and more exciting from one point of view,
yeah,
the things that we can uncover about ourselves.
yeah,
Um, it just
yeah,
gets more and more expansive,
yeah,
and the results get more and more impactful as you go along, really.
yeah.
um,
And
so
that's your
yeah.
choice, totally. And and I often remind you of that too, right? Because like the strategy is another piece that obviously you've got that nailed, but without this mindset stuff, and it's so much deeper than mindset, but without that work that you do, um,
Yeah,
the strategy often doesn't work.
it doesn't. I mean, a lot of people try strategies and then they think they don't work.
Yeah,
The strategies in and of themselves probably all do work
yeah,
because
yeah,
somebody's working for someone. That's why they're selling them, right? So
yeah,
they're working
exactly.
for someone. They
Yeah,
all work.
yeah,
But the problem is us.
yeah,
you know the problem is that we're not applying them in the right way. Why aren't we? And we don't even realize we're not bringing the right energy to it, or we don't realize that we're not applying them in the right way. We don't even know. We think we've tried everything,
yeah,
but it's just so much deeper than that. The stuff, and
yeah,
that's, it's below your conscious awareness, so you don't know about it. That's the
yeah,
thing. You don't know about it until you deep dive into that work.
yeah,
And then, one of the things that my clients say to me is the sessions are really fun because your subconscious mind, it's wild in there. It's so cool and abstract and completely different from what we perceive and see on a normal day-to-day basis. So
yeah,
much fun can be had in there,
yeah, yeah.
So
I
actually the
love how you
session.
geek out over your work.
Yeah, yeah. And I love that I can bring the two together, so that
Yeah,
I can bring the strategy. And as soon as we see a little block coming up, I'm like, right, let's get in there,
yeah,
and we can completely unravel that along the way.
yeah. And look, and I totally recognize the value of that. And hence the reason, it absolutely made so much sense to increase your pricing right from the get-go. And I know you're doing amazing things for your clients. So where can people find you?
So
Facebook.
yeah, they can find me on Facebook.
Yeah.
That's the main place I see clients. I am on Instagram as well, but yeah, you find me on Facebook, Fiona Gordon, and I've also got a Facebook group there. You'd be welcome to join. I do absolutely loads of free stuff. Um, and yeah, if you want to work with me, just send me a Facebook message, and I'd love to start that conversation.
Excellent. Thank you so, so much. I am so grateful for you. I feel truly blessed that I got to work with you as well. And I know our paths will cross again and again. So
Yeah, definitely,
um
they will.
yeah, 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 yeah. So
And thank
thank
you.
you.
And I wanted to say, you asked me before, like, what would I would say to somebody who wants to work with you? And there was a piece I wanted to say that I forgot to say before, and it's just this: that when you're ready for the real deal of a coach, like the real professional, that's what I wanted to say. It's Anne. Like, so many people are out there saying they know it all and they've got all the answers, but Anne, like the real deal, the one, the professional, the final, the one. You found her. That's what I wanted to
Thank you
say.
so much, Fee. I am so grateful for you and thank you for making the time because I know how busy you are
My
with
pleasure.
Fee's got a 5-year-old and a busy life and yeah, so I'm truly honored that I got to support you and excited for when you get that house and all the other things. So um, thank you again.
Yeah, thank you, love.
Okay, bye.
Bye.